are here. I have the pleasure to have my left Shidoshi Thiago. This is the main representative. This is Shacho, the president for the South American Bouguer Society here at my left, and he's in with an intense study with Shidoshi here on this April 2015. Today we would like to share with you some information concerning Shunrai. Shunrai is a method of Koppoujutsu that it could be translated as the Shun as Haru, that means spring, and this Rai, it's a storm, it's a spring storm, and concern very important ideas of the Koppo when the practitioners began to be as what it's called Shinpei, that are like imperial bodyguards and very high rank bodyguards and protection people. Then this Shunrai was in the beginning performed by artists, by poets and painters, that usually they perform this technique as a way to defend and as a way to don't be stolen by any other. Then these techniques has evolved during the centuries in order that be a high level of Koppo that after this has been influencing also the Jujutsu of our tradition. Today, Shidoshi Thiago will explain some techniques concerning these methods of Koppo and Jujutsu in order that you could imagine how deep and how broad this study could be. Then I have the pleasure to introduce him, and please, I am at his disposition for any explanation. Thank you, please.
Thank you very much for Shidoshi Luis's explanation. Besides that, he has told us a short version of the story that is a very rich method, and there are many links and many hooks that we may have with the anthropology of this method. Shidoshi Luis just told us that there are, actually this method is related to poets and artists, and then in times of trouble when they were about to get robbed, they would use this as a method of self-defense and also not allowing the thief to take his goods. Now, furthermore, there is another perspective, that is that it became so efficient, it became something so straightforward and so direct that it even got to be used by some of the guards of the emperor himself, as history tells us. So let's see some of the techniques that we can see. They always get very close. They are not like the say the classical Koppo or some of the roots of the Koppo in which the hands are like this. There are masters speak of 3 explanations for this kind of my in Koppo, but not in this case. In this case, we are allowing him to get as close as possible in any attack. So just like here, so he is sure of his attack and what he's doing. So we move, especially if he is wearing an armor, even a full armor. So it is one of the practical and empirical ways to actually get him caught and get his arms caught. So from here, what we'll do is, once we are already with his arms close to our body, and it's quite difficult for him to rotate or to take his arm out, we using our own movement of our body, we must lock ourselves, we must lock his position in such a way that he cannot escape easily. And as I am moving, this arm is quite fragile. So this, in this kind of technique, it is not meant for, let's say, a duel or a combat in which we are both here and we'll have just one man standing. No, it's kind of, there is a protectee, and as I am walking and he got to a dangerous situation, I am already moving, his arm is broken, and I can still move around other people and check what is happening. Same thing happens if I am on this side, protectee is, for example, on my right, and he comes and he represents a risk, and I still have meanings this will enter, breaking his ribs already. And as I am here, this fracture, which is quite straightforward and a very powerful leverage, will prevent him to move. And I will just release him here, so there is no harm to Shidoshi Luis. But as I am here, I can still move and not get trapped by one person. Same thing would happen if, for example, we were this side. Say he attacked Ninamato, and I'm very close to him, and again, I am, let's rotate. And I am here, so the main idea is to use his body as my, let's say my anchor, or using his body so I can get his arm stuck and locked already. So, as I'm moving, he cannot move. I don't even need this hand. Furthermore, it's quite difficult for him here. Let's do it like this, so you can see from this side. It is quite difficult for him, one, to take his arm out, or two, to rotate, skipping my technique and avoiding the technique and looking for my back. For example, if I'm here, just grab his arm, he can still rotate and get my back, so I cannot allow this to happen. So this should be a straightforward technique in which once I'm here, there is no way out. I just gotta keep going. This is one of the cases that Shunrai teaches us, and then I'll ask Shidoshi Luis to show us another scenario in which we still apply Shunrai in these very straightforward techniques.
Well, for example, as you could see, we could have two cases when we are escaping from the outside or escaping from the inside in order to grab and control. What Thiago has explained masterly, it's how to apply breaking techniques when we are employing the movement of the body. Then, right now, what we will be studying is when we perform techniques with the idea of falling. When he falls, we will be breaking the arms, breaking the limbs as a way to empower our technique and, of course, reach the goal of Koppo, that it's breaking the arms and breaking the body bones of the opponent. And in the same case, when he is attacking me, we will be weighing here in order to control here. Remember that one thing that is very important for Koppo is to reach the arm, because if we are trying to hold the arm in a real situation like that, and I am trying to hold on the forearm or whatever, he could retreat with the elbow, he will, and it's impossible for me. It doesn't matter if I try, if he is a strong man and a fast man, and I am trying to hold like that, of course, that he don't want that his arm will be restrained. Then, of course, what he will do is to go back and retreat in order to avoid. Then, the key here is the control, that we will be holding like that. Right now, what we will be performing, I will change the position in order to explain what is happening here. After that, I will take profit of his movement in trying to escape from this position in order to hook his leg and falling to the ground. As you could see, what we will have here, it's that my calf will enter, also breaking with the heel to the ribs at the same time that this is having this control. The possibilities that it could be open here are very wide, because some of them it could be like stretching from this point, but of course if we have this, we could enter to this point, that it's also very powerful. And after here we could also strike, we could strike. If you could take a look, we are making that the acromion go forward, and we have the access in order to break the shoulder bones like clavicula from this point. And this is one of the possibilities that we could offer from this point. We could go by the inside, for example, if we go like that, take a look how my elbow is close here, and I have my both hands here in order to control this arm. At the same time, if you could see, my legs go forward in order to throw, at the same time that the stretch will step on the wrist of his body. Of course, that he could try to reach with his other arm any other weapon, then maybe it will be important to escape here and have access in order to break the clavicula from this point, and also of course trying to break the neck to this position that it's a very weak and fragile situation. Then these are several forms that we could be applying when we are employing the fall of the enemy as a way to break. I lead this explanation right now in order to explain maybe some Jujutsu applications that have came from what it's Shunrai. Please.
Well, even if we are still in Koppo, there are some other scenarios we could explore. For example, in the same line of action, that's where Shidoshi was, say he attacked any kind of attack. And since I'm here, let me rotate a bit. Okay, since I'm here, once I got to his back and I have this angle, and I'm using traction to keep him like this, one thing I'm going to use is violently bring my hara downward. Once I'm here, what we can find is that we have this, his humerus and his clavicula exposed. If I ask him to do like this, and to, very nice. So we have this exposed, and this is a very sensitive part of our body, although it is a bit short of soft tissues. Here, this articulation, his joint, gets loose. So this is where many one time Atemi can get in, can kick in, and so it will be very difficult for him to use his arm one more time. And well, the same thing happens if you're going to Jujutsu, because these are positions in which we divide the pressure, the power of his attack into our own position. So we can resist and we can deal with a very powerful attack from him. So once we are here, for example, once I'm here, if in Jujutsu I simply enter my head in here, his arm will be already close to his limit. And if I barely kneel down from here, what we already have is the principle of Jujutsu of using your own body, using powerful leverages in the floor as weapon, as an equalizer of the power of both of us. Same thing happens if he enters one more time and I'm here and I got here. Okay. Well, suppose now he will protect this side of his body, so I cannot get in from there, but I can get in from here. Okay, let's spin a bit. Exactly. So let's say I could throw, but I could also from here simply have his wrist controlled and violently take my left leg, striking his own leg. Moving to Jujutsu leverages. Let's now Shidoshi to show us how this kind of study has evolved and how, if he attacked me, I am here now. Very nice. I got here and I will try to pass my head around, downward, around his arm as I just did. And then how he will protect himself. Exactly. So he'll try to do a shime no giko here. He'll try to strangle me. Okay. And once he tries that, I have to expand my elbows and my shoulders, so he has no practical means of doing that. And still having his arm, what I'm going to do is attempting an attempt, but going downward, straight downward. So I still have angles, wrist, elbow, elbow, joints. We may proceed to shime no giko, or strangling techniques. Let's see, maybe one or two more cases. So as I will try to pass, then he protects himself. Exactly. Once he is there, and now suppose he has a very, here. He knows I will try to enter this way, so he performs a very powerful basis, so I cannot grab him this way, but I can have him this way. Remember that in practical situations, this elbow would fall here, looking for ribs, or looking for a very powerful pressure over his abdomen, okay? And once we are here, we already may have specific Jujutsu endings.
Thank you, Thiago. I think that the explanation had been very, very clear. I hope that you all have enjoyed with this master explanation. This is a very powerful method, very wide, and I hope that you have at least understand what we have seen in a very, very small minutes. Thank you very much. Keep watching all videos because we will be updating very soon. Goodbye and see you next time.